All right. So we're going to talk about our thesis statements, what we like about them, and how we can improve them. So who wants to go first and say theirs, and then we can talk about it.
I'll say mine.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Oh, you go, Don? You want to go first?
No. Oh, no. You can go if you like.
All right. Okay, so my thesis statement that I wrote down, it's about the poem "The Negro Speaks of Rivers." So my thesis statement, it says, in the poem "The Negro Speaks of Rivers," illustrate the connection and understanding that the poet has for his African American people, using literary devices like simile, metaphors, and imagery to describe the genealogy in ancient time.
Sweet.
So yeah, I love you got the title in there. You got 3 different literary devices in there, which is good. I think what I notice is maybe throw the author's name in there. Is there an author for that one?
Oh yeah.
Does it say who it is?
Okay, so instead of using the poet, just use the.
Yeah, so I would just say that in the poem, "The Negro Speaks of Rivers," whatever the name is, illustrates the connection and understanding, and then go on from there.
All right.
I don't know. Do you see anything else, Donovan?
No, I was gonna say that. That's pretty much it. That I was gonna say. The author.
I just have a question. You know how you know how we use the thesis statement instead of summarizing the poem or the poet?
Yeah.
We use the analysis.
Uh-huh.
Can you guys expound on that one? Because I'm a little bit confused when analyzing and summarizing.
Wait. So wait. What's your question?
So you know how quizzes there was this quizzes that we took about thesis statement.
Yes.
So when using thesis statement,
Monday. Those quizzes that we took Monday.
Yeah. So instead of summarizing, like we use summarizing the story or the poem that we're gonna put in a thesis statement, we analyze it. So my question would be, I think, what's the difference
between analyzing and summarizing? You
because right now I don't really know if I'm analyzing my thesis statement or am I summarizing the poem.
Right now, I think what we're doing right now as a group is analyzing our thesis statements. Mm-hmm. When you're analyzing your thesis statement, you're kind of looking at it and saying, okay, what can I do better? What can I improve upon? What did I leave out? This, or this, or did I include these requirements?
Yeah.
Or these rules?
So sorry.
No, go on.
I just looked it up. It says a summary is rewriting what the story is about, but putting it in your own words. An analysis is breaking down the reading into smaller parts and examining it. So instead of just like rewriting in your own words what the author said, you kind of, in these circumstances, you would pick like the main idea and break it down into why that's important and what it means.
Yeah.
So instead of just like, for example, the my poem that I picked was about like flooding. It was the one where she's speaking to her kid about the flooding and the islands. And so instead of just saying that she's talking to her kid about flooding, you analyze it and go deeper into talking about, melting the polar ice caps and there's a lot more to it than just what she says, but there's a deeper meaning. So I think that's more what we get at. Does that help at all?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Move on to Donovan.
Yeah, I can do mine next.
Cool.
So for my thesis statement, I wrote the literary elements that I saw in the short story, which is symbolism and imagery. And then I put as my thesis statement, in the story, a jury of her peers, Susan Glasspool tells of women being treated as minorities by men and uses her imagery and symbolism to describe her point of view on gender. So,
A pretty simple one.
yeah, it's pretty short and simple. But what do you guys think I can improve on?
I think one of the requirements that you have like 3 literal elements.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's the only thing I would say is, yeah, she says at least 3 literary devices. So that shouldn't be hard. Just find one more in there.
Okay.
No big deal. Cool.
Is there anything else?
No, I like yours because it's short and powerful and short.
I like it.
Thank you, guys.
But, all right. You ready for mine?
Yes.
Okay. Mine says, in the poem Dear Matafelepenum by Kathy Jetnil Killinger, the author uses allusion, alliteration, and flashback to explain that unless our generation takes a stand against global warming, our children will be devastated by natural disaster.
Can you read it one more time?
Yeah.
Sorry.
In the poem Matafelepenum by Kathy Jetnil Killinger, the author uses allusion, alliteration, and flashback to explain that unless our generation takes a stand against global warming, our children will be devastated by natural disaster.
Yeah.
So what's alliteration?
Alliteration is when you use like the same sound over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
So in the poem, she does it a lot. I don't remember an exact quote, but she'll put a lot of words to each other that start with the letter. So like a big bad bumblebee is an example of alliteration because you use that sound over and over again.
Yeah. Okay.
I actually like your thesis statement. It's really good.
Thanks. Anything to improve on?
I don't know. I think it just depends on how. So we have our thesis statement.
Yeah.
And then the next step is providing evidence and examples from the stories and write about it.
Yeah.
Using the literature that we chose to prove that our thesis statement is true.
Okay. So just making sure that I can find evidence for it. Okay. Sounds good.
Sounds good.
I really can't tell you how you can make your thesis statement better, but I'll just point out a few things that I liked about it. I actually read that poem.
Uh-huh.
It was actually a really good poem. Um, I thought that what you described about how we need to learn from our our previous ancestors about global warming. That was perfect description on the story, and you gave good literary elements to support what you were trying to state for your
Thank
thesis.
you.
It's good.
Appreciate it. Cool. All right. I think we all have good action items going forward.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Sweet. Sounds good. Let's close it out.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.